front portion of the bag, they made it out of mushrooms, which I thought was quite interesting. Looks a little bit rashy to me. It looks a little bit like a skin rash. It's a bit of a random animal to make a bag out of, I thought. But yeah, it just kind of looks like blackheads to me. But hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jess. I hope you're all doing well, enjoying the Christmas period. Not long till Christmas now. I wanted to talk about today the topic of Hermes bags that are weird skins. And, you know, it kind of shocked me that Hermes make bags or have made bags in the past out of elephant skin. This is not something that I would commonly imagine would happen today, since elephants are an endangered species, and not to mention, just why would you kill an elephant? Like, I don't know. I don't think that people eat elephant meat. Usually leather handbags are a byproduct of the meat industry. So, you know, brands like, I know, for example, Saint Laurent, a lot of their leathers, like the calf skin, the lamb skin, all that are from the meat industry. So they're in a way not as bad to make into handbags, because as long as people eat meat, you're going to have excess leather, and may as well just use the leather for handbags or other leather goods. So it's not as bad. But when it comes to these rare animals and exotics, usually they're not necessarily killed for the meat, they're killed to make into a handbag, which one will say is like very selfish, you know, fur coats, all that. But, you know, back in the day, so in the 1960s and the 70s, Hermes actually made for VIP clients very special bags made out of, I guess, rarer animals. And I wanted to go through some of those very weird Hermes skins today, and let me know, would you buy any of these rare Hermes bags pre-loved, or are you kind of grossed out by them? Let's go into the first from the, I believe it's from the 1960s, 1970s. I've noticed a few Hermes Kelly bags in elephant leather, which have this very big, strong grain to it. It apparently is very durable. I wouldn't say the texture of it is that pretty. It's just, I guess, the natural grain of an elephant is very, you know, it has these very strong lines to it. And actually, when I went to Japan, I went to Amore Men's, which I'm actually going to edit that vlog soon. Let me know if you want to see it, because I don't know, sometimes I'm like, will people want to see this? Is this boring? But I know you guys love handbags, so I'm mainly editing my bag-related vlogs. But anyways, I went to Amore Men's, and they had a bolide bag in elephant skin. And actually, I went online and I looked at the price, and it's actually, for a very rare leather, it's actually not that expensive. But I feel like a lot of people would feel uncomfortable about owning an elephant bag. I love elephants, so it does make me a little bit sad, but then again, I also think that lambs and cows are really cute, so I'd be a hypocrite to say I wouldn't buy an elephant bag. Like, they're all animals. But yes, it is, for some reason, I like the thought of an elephant being killed does make me quite sad. But yes, there was elephant bags being produced in the past. I don't think that Hermes would produce a bag like this anymore, but you know, they do give off an interesting texture. It's very durable. I can imagine it would be very durable. I mean, elephants seem like pretty robust animals. But yeah, a few styles were made in elephant skin, which, you know, what do you think of it, guys? Are you kind of shocked? Next skin that I thought actually looked kind of cool is Anteater skin. This to me looks a little bit like a python or a snake, just because of the way that the scales are. I saw this one vintage bag from the 1960s, a very similar silhouette to this bag, which is a Palonnier bag, which is also from the 1960s, and it had Anteater skin, which again has a very interesting natural grain to it. I actually think it looks kind of cool, to be honest. But yeah, it came in a few different colors. I think there was a beige version, more of a dark color as well. And from looking close up at the grain of the leather, it almost looks like scales that kind of peel up. Yeah, I can't imagine many brands doing Anteater skin anymore. I mean, I don't know if Anteaters are rare, actually. I probably should have done more research on that. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit of a random animal to make a bag out of, I thought. But what do you think of it, guys? Does it surprise you? Next skin that I think is a bit sad that was made into a handbag is a whale. So Beluga whale. This, in my opinion, actually looks quite ugly. It almost looks like blackheads or like paws when you zoom in up on it. It has this like very dot texture to it, which is kind of like Chanel caviar leather in a way. And then it has these other like black dots within it, like little, it's literally the paws of the animal. And yeah, I don't think it looks that good, to be honest, but I suppose if you're a collector, you might aspire to own this bag because, I mean, you don't see a whale bag every day, do you? So there was a few styles made in whale skin. I've seen a Constance 23. This is just from me looking on Google, and some other like vintagey bag that was similar style to this again. Yes, probably from the 1960s or something like that. So yes, yeah, it just kind of looks like blackheads to me, but yeah, I would much rather just get a box calf Constance than a Beluga whale one myself. This weird skin that I noticed, well, it's not necessarily a skin, but I found on Google a Peacock Kelly bag, and I believe it contains peacock feathers. Now, this actually looks quite pretty, because naturally a male peacock is very pretty and, yeah, nice, but weirdly I haven't seen a lot of designers do peacock feather bags, but I suppose because the nature of feathers is quite delicate. And recently Hermes have actually done, I saw a Kelly Elan with feathers. I'm not sure if they were ostrich feathers, but they were kind of like longer feathers. So there have been a few special edition Kelly bags over the years in feather finishes. Even I think around 2008 there was a So Black Kelly with black hardware which had black feathers as well, which is apparently very rare. And I imagine feathers are quite delicate as well to maintain. I mean, pretty easy to destroy, right? Quite delicate. Actually, feathers are kind of coming back in fashion. I've noticed a lot of brands do like feather sleeves and feather trims on pants and like feather pajamas and all that. So yeah, I guess it's kind of a thing that's always there. It kind of comes back in fashion. What era is that from? Like 1920s? Something like that. Anyways, I'm not a huge fan of the feather just because it's not that practical, I suppose. But if you're a collector, you might aspire to get a feather bag, I think. A leopard Birkin and leopard Kelly. Now, for a moment, I was like, is this like leopard skin on a bag? But no, I think it is actually just pony hair, or not pony hair. I think it's calf hair that has been dyed to look like leopard print. I know that Saint Laurent actually a few years ago had a sac de jour in leopard print, which I actually quite liked. And I've even seen Celine has done, actually in the latest collection, I think Celine has a leopard print bag. But leopard print, you know, it's quite classic. When I think of leopard print, to be honest, I do think of Saint Laurent because they kind of made it fashionable. I think it used to be associated with like streetwalkers, like, you know, prostitutes and that sort of thing. But Saint Laurent kind of made it cool in fashion. But yeah, the Hermes leopard print bags, they're quite rare. As I said, it's not leopard skin, it is just calf hair dyed to look like leopard skin. I actually think it looks quite cool though. But yeah, not something that I often see, and I imagine they're quite expensive on the pre-love market as well, because they would be quite rare. I'm sure there are some people who have, because I know that sometimes people customize their Birkin or Kelly, like they paint on it or they cut out the front and they put like a patch on it. There's probably a few custom Birkins around with like leopard print on them, but I know there was a specific collection which was actually leopard print as well, which was, yeah, kind of interesting. Another very weird texture, I think, is the buffalo leather, which leaves like a Dalmatian-esque finish on it. So I think these are called it's like the Dalmatian leather, but it's buffalo, and it basically has this grain, which again, it's quite dotted, but there's like a big contrast of like white and black. I actually think it looks quite cool. When I went to Japan, I did see a few Evelyn bags in this combination, and I also saw, I think I saw a Kelly as well, but they tend to go for more because it's rarer and just a little bit more interesting to look at. You can also get it in the pink and white combination, which looks a little bit rashy to me. It looks a little bit like a skin rash. Not my favorite. I think if I was to go for it, I'd go for the black and white colorway in the Kelly. I think it looks quite cool, actually. But yeah, I've seen it in gold hardware and palladium. I think it actually looks better in the palladium myself, but let me know what you think of this bag. Would you get it in an Evelyn? I think I've also seen it in a plume bag potentially, maybe a bolide. Can't quite remember, but there are a few Hermes styles in this finish. Yeah, pretty unique. I don't see a lot of other designers use buffalo skin in this kind of way. Also, recently Hermes produced mushroom leather. So this, I suppose, is a vegan alternative. So they did a Victoria bag in mushroom leather, and they worked with a company called Miso Works, I believe. I actually did a video on this a while back, and I'm yet to see mushroom leather in the Hermes boutique, but apparently they are working on it. They produced a Victoria bag. That being said, this Victoria bag also has a leather trim. I think on the handles it could be a calf skin or something, so it's actually not a completely vegan bag, but yeah, they used the majority of the front portion of the bag. They made it out of mushrooms, which I thought was quite interesting. And let me know, guys, have you ever tried out plant-based leather? I'm not talking about vegan leather, which is made out of plastic or PU. I'm talking about vegan leather that is made out of like vegetables or corn or mango or that sort of thing, or mushroom. Let me know how it wears. Have you really liked the feel of it, and does it give you the same satisfaction as like a calf or a lamb skin, or does it feel a bit like weird? Because I actually would love to buy a bag out of mushroom leather, or I know there's also mango leather or something like that. I just think it would be cool to experience and have a look at. And then finally, I just wanted to mention the vibrato line from Hermes. Now, the vibrato line is not always my favorite. It depends on the combination, but this particular Kelly with the rainbow vibrato is my favorite. So the vibrato texture, it's not a fabric. I've heard it's actually leather that's stacked onto each other, and it creates like a pattern. So it's like a, yeah, it's not common that Hermes do it. I think they did it in like maybe the early 2000s or something like that. And there's this particular Kelly in chamois leather, which is actually very similar to my Kelly here. This Kelly is from the year 2000, so it's a similar color, but it actually has a panel cut out here in the vibrato, and I just thought it looks quite cool actually. I really like the effect of the rainbowness of it, and yeah, it's one of the collectible Kellys. If I had, you know, more money, I would seek out to get. I think it is really beautiful to look at, and just a really unique talking piece. And yeah, it's vintage as well, so it's a little bit special, but I actually quite like it. I think it looks quite effective. So let me know, guys, would you buy any of these weird Hermes finishes? I think the Beluga well was my least favorite. Just think it's quite ugly, but I do like the buffalo. I think looks quite cool, and then I also like the vibrato, and feathers I don't really like. Mushroom leather I'm curious by. Yeah, anyways, thanks for listening to my blabby video today. It's actually raining outside, so I'm not sure if you can hear that, but yeah, I'll talk to you on my next one. Bye!